Okay, this little piece of loveliness is an Ibanez RGA72. Yes, RGA72, which is a kind of a mid-range Ibanez fixed bridge, no vibrato or trem, as you might call it. Let's start from the top. We've got some sealed mini tuners here. All the hardware is finished in gunmetal, which is particularly attractive, I think, as an alternative to chrome, especially so on a guitar of this colour, which is rather unusual. The colour itself is called lavender, which is rather nice. Moving down from the headstock, the typical scalpel shape of the Ibanez headstock. Before we leave there, actually, I must show you one thing which is rather interesting. The truss rod cover here looks like a normal truss rod cover, but as if by magic, if you push it with a plectrum, it will open up like that, giving you instant access to the truss rod should you need it, which is a nice little innovation. I like that, because those screws on truss rod covers are the smallest and it's so easy to lose. Move on to the neck. The neck is maple, and it's a set neck, so you can see there that there's no bolting on there. The neck goes into a pocket in the body and is glued firmly in there. You can see that Ibanez have taken the opportunity to really contour that heel right away, so it's a really comfortable guitar to hold, which gives you a nice access to the top frets should you be inclined to use them. Now, the neck is typical Ibanez quality, slim, very, very playable. The fretboard rosewood with a design which this way up looks like a cresting wave. Whether that's the intention or not, I'm not sure. But the dot markers on the side, the player's side of the white binding, will help you out if you get confused over those. Moving on to the body is mahogany and it has a maple top. Now, one assumes that the maple top is as thick as the binding, although that is not necessarily the case. And that maple top will have a veneer of high quality quilted maple glued onto it. So you get that nice quilted maple grain showing through the lavender finish. The pickups here are Ibanez's own pickups. The model number escapes me at the moment, but they're tuned and matched to go together. And the bridge, again, is an Ibanez design called the Gibraltar. Basically, it's single saddles for each string. Intonation is adjusted by an Allen screw at the back, and the action or height of the string is adjusted by two Allen screws, one either side of the string, on its individual saddle. So you're fully adjustable there. There's no excuse for not having a perfectly set up guitar. You can string two ways. One is through the body, through these holes here, up through the bridge and out. But there's also slots at the back where you can slot the ball end of the string in and string in a top string fashion, as it's called. That is useful if you break a string on stage or in a dark pub when you're playing a gig. It's probably easier to just replace it by top stringing it than fiddling about. I don't see that you top string for any other reason, because the advantage of through body stringing is tone transmission to the body. Okay, the controls for these two pickups are quite simple, but not necessarily straightforward. There's a single volume, master volume, which is straightforward, and there's a 3-position pickup selector, which is straightforward. The bit that isn't straightforward is this little switch down here, two-way switch, that engages or bypasses an onboard EQ system, which is active and powered by two AA batteries, which fit into this compartment here. So let's go on to the sound of the thing. I'm going to play it with the EQ bypass to start with. which I think is the best way of doing it. Let's just, I'll take you from the bridge pickup. Notice that that's quite a full, thick sound. There's the whole spectrum of the pickup is in there. It seems to be almost crowded with frequencies, and that is actually intentional, because what happens when you flick in the onboard EQ is that it scoops out some of the mid-range and it boosts some of the ranges to either side of that. So if I just play a chord with the that's with the EQ off. That's with the EQ on. You'll notice now that the sound is tighter, brighter, and sweeter. That was the bridge. This is the neck. And this is the two together. Why have they done that? Most players will play with the EQ switched in, because that is a pick it out of the box usable sound with a great voice for rock and also for metal if you want to overdrive that a bit further. Knock the EQ out and go to your amp side EQ or an on the floor off-board EQ, and you've got the whole range of these pickups to play with, so you can cut and boost another sound for yourself. It takes a bit of grasping that, but it does make it an extraordinarily versatile machine, because without the EQ on, you've got the full range of these pickup voices to play with. And for the creative or technical guitarist, that's got to be an advantage, especially in a recording situation. Other than that, if you're just a gigging guitarist, knock the EQ in, make sure you've got some batteries with you, spare batteries at all time, and enjoy what is a very, very playable and very attractive electric guitar.